I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, January the 6th, brought to you in part by Vitalix. Not all tubs are created equal. Stretch your profits with every lick. There's going to be exciting new stuff coming out right here on the feeder flash about Vitalix. They're going to be giving away free tubs in this new year. So stay with us to check that out. And get the blue tub. Your cows will love you. Go to Vitalix.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards, but Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma are going to be closed today on Tuesday. Their next sale scheduled is the 23rd of January, next Tuesday. Just really miserable blizzard conditions there, and it has remained miserably cold. I noticed on the TV that they had a wind chill warning for on Monday night. Bitter cold there still, and also they're using their head. It's miserable where those cattle are going to go. So, you know, even if you toughed it out at the sale barn and decide to sell those cattle, where are they going to go? And no doubt it's going to hurt the market on them. So they decided just to close on Tuesday, and they'll have a big sale next Tuesday, January the 23rd. 2024 cattle marketing is slow out of the gates, guys. The way that the holidays fell with both of your big holidays, Christmas and New Year's, were on a Monday. It caused even more auctions to be closed than normal. It caused more packing plants to be closed longer than normal. It really just slowed all of our trade down in a big way. And then we had a snowstorm that come through, in the Midwest, and then that closed several things there for a few days. And then it was okay for just a little bit, and then wham, here comes this last big polar vortex that come across, and it was everything that it was advertised to be, and just brought everything to a halt. And like I talked, are the feedlots in the background of yards just doing everything they could to take care of the cattle that they had. They sure didn't want any more. Your backgrounders that want to do it at home, they're the same way. And so it just brought everything to a halt, and we are way behind here, and we're on the backside of January, guys. Then we had MLK Day here on this Monday. So it was great that we had no futures market, but we couldn't take advantage of that because most of our high volume Monday feeder cattle auctions were closed. So it's just slow getting going here. Now it looks like about Wednesday, most of the central part of the country is going to start to thaw out. So we'll get started back on Wednesday, but here on Tuesday, OKC West has their calf sale closed. They're going to be selling all classes of cattle, cows and bulls and calves and feeders, all on Wednesday. Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, Missouri is closed today on Tuesday. They're a normal broadcaster on DVAuction, but they're going to be closed on Tuesday. They will have their regular cow and bull sale on Wednesday, though. But it's just been really slow to get going here. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to tell you guys. I'm pretty excited that Trump got over 50% of the caucus votes there in Iowa. I'm still a Trump supporter. I hope a lot of you guys are. We've got to do something to try to repair everything that's been screwed up over here the last 3 years, and we've got to stop the leaking on that border, which is just flooding in here. And it's not Mexicans coming in. Any Mexicans that wanted to come in, they came in a long time ago. Now we're getting people we don't even know where they're from, or they're from places that we can't spell and never heard of, and I don't think that's a really good deal either, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed how the Packers drubbed the Cowboys. Of course, we're used to that week in, week out around here, but it seemed like the Cowboys had it all in their favor, had the home field advantage. They were favored to win the trade. And we're used to that here, week in and week out. The cattle people have light supplies. Packers are short bought. Looks like everything's lined up for the Cowboys to win, and the Packers win again and buy cattle cheaper. Well, the Packers really won this weekend, or this past weekend, to beat the Cowboys out, and there are going to be some changes there, I'm sure, the Dallas Cowboys Association, or the administration and on down there. But I tell you what, there needs to be some change in the cattle market, in the way that we sell our fed cattle, because we're just not selling enough of them in a negotiated manner, and there's no price discovery there. I tried to get you guys to support the Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act. It's not dead, but it's not going to go any further unless they're sure that they can get the votes to get it pushed through in Congress. I still think we could get it through in the Senate anytime we want, but likely not in the House. So I don't know what's going to become of it. I guess we'll just go by the way of the chickens and hogs. And if everybody's happy doing that, I'm not very happy. I don't know anybody that makes a living visiting about the hog market or the chicken market, and so that's getting kind of scary for me too. But talking about some sales that are going to happen here on Tuesday, Brad Hahn at Fredonia, Kansas. It's like him. He said, "Hey, nobody else wants to have a sale. I'll have one, and I'll bring a bunch of my own cattle," which apparently he's going to have a pretty good sale there at Fredonia, Kansas. We're going to have a sale here on DVAuction that you guys might not have checked out, but I think you need to check it out. It's Mid-Atlantic Cattle Sales. It's a video auction. They're selling half loads, but mostly all loads of feeder cattle there, based out of North Carolina. But you got to look at these cattle. Get on DVAuction.com, scroll down, find Mid-Atlantic Cattle Sales. The cattle are nearly all, or really they are all, black and black baldy. Quality is outstanding, kind of similar to what Virginia type cattle look like. A lot of these load lots of cattle have all the bells and whistles, including gap, and so you need to check those cattle out, guys. I realize there's some freight on them, but especially you guys that are over in the Eastern Corn Belt sure need to check them out. They've got like 18 loads of feeder cattle to sell, and they're going to be selling those. It's 12 o'clock Central, noon Central, here, Mid-Atlantic Cattle Sales on DVAuction.com. Get in there, get a hold of them, get approved, watch that video sale, and bid on those good cattle. Another one of those type of video sales that's going to be coming up here on Thursday on DVAuction is Elite Livestock Sales. That's the guys that used to be at Montgomery Stockyards down in Alabama. They've got a pretty good video sale coming up here on Thursday. It's at 3 o'clock Central, but they've got 20 loads, mostly all yearlings. They do have a couple consignments there of backgrounded weaned and backgrounded calves, so there's plenty of demand for those. But Daryl did tell me that most of the deliveries can be pushed back into the first week of February if you need to do that, guys. But that's going to be their New Year kickoff sale at Elite Livestock Sales this Thursday, the 18th. 20 loads of cattle, 3 o'clock Central. Talk about your board. Whoop, no board. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I did hear that a lot of the parades were canceled, so I guess they supported him, but not enough to get out in the cold and do it. But no futures. We'll have to wait till Tuesday, or today here, Tuesday, and I'll tell you about the futures market on our next visit. Talk about your fed cattle marketing. Last week's weighted average direct sales and your fed cattle in your 5-area feeding region only sold 39,400 head in all of the 5 areas. That is ridiculous. I don't care if it was blizzard conditions, they could do it over the phone. That compares to 55,100 the previous week, which is New Year's week, but still ridiculous, and the same week a year ago, 62,700. But live sales of fat steers and heifers in your 5-area feeding region ranged in price from $170 to $175. That was 50 cents to $2 lower. Your weighted average on live steers in the 5-area was $173.47. That was only down 54 cents compared to the previous week's weighted average, but they had hardly any Southern Plains trade, so that's why it wasn't down more than that. Your dress sales of steers and heifers that sold on a dress basis delivered there were 272 to 275. That was steady to a buck lower. And your weighted average on dress steers in the 5-area feeding region was 270, 370, down a buck 8. So that's where all your sales are in the Northern Plains dress. So it was down the full gamut there. But as a whole, your Southern Plains market was steady to a buck lower, mostly at 172. Northern Plains live was steady to 2 lower at 173 for the most part. Your dress trade was unevenly steady from 272 to 275. Your nationwide negotiated trade was only 48,600 compared to 69,500 the previous week and 78,200 the same week a year earlier. Of that 48,600, about 31% or just over 15,000 of them were for the 15 to 30 day delivery. It might have backed up even a little bit more than that since the kill got curbed so much. But negotiated grid sales last week nationwide were 41,800. Forward contracts last week were 9,200, and formula sales were up big, 55,000 more than the previous week at 268,700 head sold formula based last week. Iowa had negotiated sales of 17,000 is all. Nebraska negotiated sales were 11,700. Kansas only 7,900 cattle. And in all the feedlots in the Texas Panhandle, eastern New Mexico, and western Oklahoma, only 2,700 cattle sold on a negotiated cash basis. Box beef cutout values continue to go up, and they finally convinced these wholesalers that they need more money for the cattle with the cold weather and everything. Choice cuts up 216 on Monday afternoon at 291.42. Selects up 71 cents at 272.56. Your slaughter on Monday estimated at only 112,000. Usually is 125. But in another week of curbed slaughter there, and we got to get these chain speeds going, guys. We need to get some cattle moving through the system. We're going to get way behind. Talk about what else is going on. Night Latch Group, which is Andy and Codell Cunningham there. Get a hold of them for your ag risk management needs, and let them show you how they can use their favorite policy for cattle risk is livestock gross margin. Now, a lot of the insurance companies don't even sell it. They don't even fool with gross margin because they don't understand it. They don't think it works. But Andy Cunningham has figured out how to make it work. He likes it. He sells a lot of them. Check out the livestock gross margin policies where you can hedge your cattle and your corn at the same time there, guys. For more information, go to nightlatch.net. Talk about your feeder cattle market on extremely light receipts again. Real-time index based on an 800-pound steer up through the middle 12 states. 226.81 late on Monday. That was 66 cents higher. CME cash feeder cattle index still sitting at 228. Of course, they were closed on Monday. So don't forget about OKC West being closed here on Tuesday. All classes on Wednesday. Ozarks Regional and West Plains closed on Tuesday here. Cows and bulls will sell on Wednesday. But talk about your big sales on Monday. Didn't have any of those either. Oklahoma National Stockyards were closed. Joplin Regional Stockyards were closed. So we had to find some smaller local auction markets around that did have sales in places where they're tough enough to do it or where they were out of the cold. But your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day was Bighorn Basin Livestock Auction in Worland, Wyoming. Good for them. NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day. Look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central, and you see how well they sell those cattle up there in Worland, Wyoming. They had 387 head of 4-weight steer calves, average 469, with a weighted average price of $320.82. 441 head of 5-weight steer calves, average 558 at $304.11. 331 head of 6-weight steers, average 644 at $270.46. And one bigger group of heifers there, 181 heifers in the 5-weight category, average 537 at $275.79. give you some individual quotes. And I would like to mention that I'm going to be at Toppenish Livestock Auction in Toppenish, Washington, and I believe that's going to be on Wednesday. This Wednesday, I'm going to be giving a presentation there. The Yakima Cattlemen's Group is having me in there, so I assume you're welcome to come. Maybe you can join up with them, but we'll have a nice get-together there on Wednesday, flying out to the Great Northwest here on Tuesday. Some more individual quotes. How about Aberdeen livestock sales? Aberdeen, South Dakota, out on the highway there. 54 steers weigh 926 at 225. It's a big quote on some big steers. How about Oberlin Livestock Auction in Oberlin, Kansas? They sell 65 steers, weigh 834 at 227. Treasure Valley Livestock in Caldwell, Idaho. That's where the good trade's at. It's out west, guys. Looking forward to going out there. And then I'm going to be going down to Fallon, Nevada, at Nevada Livestock Marketing. They've got a big 2-day sale at the end of this week, but had a good sale in Caldwell, Idaho. They sell 64 steers, weigh 707 at 250 and a half. Can't get that right behind the feed yards here in the middle of the country. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, indeed come out of Bighorn Basin Livestock there, and that's in Worland, Wyoming. They sell 58 steer calves, weighed 491 at 328. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.